Hey guys, it's Khadija with This Is R&B.com, and tonight we are in with a treat. You guys are here for a treat. I'm here for a treat. We're here with the Grammy Award winner, songwriter, I'm going to call you the top 10 Billboard on the charts all the time. St. Thomas's native artist of all, Theron. Hey Thomas,
Yeah.
how are you?
Hey. I love that intro. I'm gonna be like everybody take a page out of Khadijah's book, and that is the way you're supposed to intro me when I walk in the room. I love it.
That's what
Thank
I'm
you, thank
talking
you.
about. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, first off, we literally have to talk about like, if we really just deep dive into all of the things that you've done, we will be here for weeks. Let's just talk about that. We
Okay.
will be here for weeks. So, being as though we don't have all that time, and we know you're on a time crunch because you are Mr. Busy. Again, like I said, you stay on the billboards and the top tens, always like one, two, three, four. That's normally where you are, you're hanging
You
out.
know, I try my best to be there as best as I can.
You don't need to try because you just do. You definitely do. So, how does it feel to not only have won last year's record of the year, and if you guys aren't familiar, that was About Damn Time by Lizzo. I mean, crazy, crazy.
Yes.
And now you're up for Songwriter of the Year for the Grammys. Like, how does that feel? Like, how are you able to just walk around and not be like, yeah, that's me? Like, how are you so humble?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, like, listen, my wife tells me all the time it couldn't be her. She's like, boy, you lucky it ain't me, boy. You too humble for me. She always tells me that. But I mean, I just think that's naturally who I am. You know what I'm saying? I just want to let the work speak for itself. And I want people to know, like, yo, man, I'm really out here working hard and putting points up on the board. I'm not really, because I'm actually doing it, I don't think I need to put on anything extra because I'm actually really doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. And so are you at all nervous to like feel like maybe every time take the next level and you're on the charts and you're like at number one and you stay at number one for a long time, do you feel like you have to I don't want to say like outdo yourself essentially?
Yeah, yes, actually, every time I get a hit, I get super anxious. I get anxiety like crazy. I get super nervous because now I'm like, okay, Tehran, you have the number one song in the country. You have top five. You have a worldwide hit. Is this the last one you're gonna have? Like,
Hmm.
oh my God, oh no. And so one thing about me, I'm overly dramatic. So the
Hmm.
minute the minute like I get a hit and everybody's celebrating and I'm like, I can celebrate day one. Like, yo, we're number one. Thank you, God. Yo, we're top five. This is so great. Thank you, God. But right after that, I'm kind of like, oh my God, what if this is the last one? How I'm gonna take care of my family? Oh my God, I'm gonna have to. Oh no, like it's just a
Yeah.
whole mess in my mind. So I just end up going harder and working harder. But I would say it's a gift and a curse because yes, it's like, oh, Tehran, you should be more calm and be more chilled with it. But I think that's probably one of the reasons why I'm great because I can't just live in the moment of the celebration. I gotta be like,
Yeah.
okay, what's next? We need another, you know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
think that's what it really is. Yeah.
So you're constantly applying that pressure to yourself.
To myself, man. I don't know any other way to be.
Okay. Do you feel that being as though that you're a hit maker, that people come into a session with you with this expectation, like, you're gonna give me my next hit? Or do you ever feel any of that anxiety from artists or labels?
No, okay, so the funny part is I do label myself as a hit maker, and I find it to be a bit rude if you come in a room and not think I'm gonna give you a hit. Like if
Yeah.
you come in a room and like, yeah, today we're just gonna make a real good vibe, and I'm like, what? Don't disrespect me like that, bro. That
Later for
sounds
the
nasty.
vibe. Later for the vibe.
Yeah, later for the vibes, bro. I'm here to give you a slapper, bro. So, so with that being said, I find it to be just I like it when people put that pressure and come in the room like, yo, I'm working with T-Ron. And I'm not saying we're making number ones every session, but I'm like, we're gonna make something that's impactful. That's the goal. We just want to impact. We just want to impact people. So if we can impact people every time, that's the goal. If we don't, I'm like, man, but I'm willing to try as many times until we get it, because I know we're going to get it.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, I love that. You're persistent, you know? That's
Yeah,
really
very,
important.
very.
Really important. So let's just talk about you getting your first deal at 25. How did that come about?
It's so funny because for the music business and for songwriters, me and my brother, we kind of came in late. We were considered late as far to songwriting. Like when you think of people like John Tay Austin, who wrote Sweet Lady when he was 13, and
Hmm.
like Sean Garrett and all the guys that I admire and look up to, these guys were fairly young when they got their first placement or got into the game. We were 25, 26 when we got into the business, and everybody was kind of like, oh, you guys are older and da 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 da. And the weird part is, I think I'm getting better, which is crazy to me. Like,
Okay.
and just that whole thing when we got the deal, we were we were broke as fuck. So I had a job. I worked at Party City, and
Hey.
I had my first kid, and I just was like, yo, man, I just don't want to let her down. I had a great dad. I want to make sure I'm a great dad. And so that first deal to me was like, it was kind of like God talking to me like, yo, I've been hearing y'all. You got it. Keep going. So it came right on time, because it was at a pinnacle point where you feel like, is this shit gonna work? Should I stop? And then bam, like overnight, we just watched our life transform. So super grateful for deal number one.
Yes. Wow. Amazing. Amazing. And I love that, you just talk about what was your the driving force, and how you
Yeah.
said like you didn't want to be a bad dad because you had a great influence in your life. So that was
Yeah.
important for you. That was totally important for you. So what advice would you give? First of all, let's just start by saying like how crazy is it to think that 25 is old, And it's like
Yes.
like to just hear that, it's like, wow. And I mean, in retrospect, and then hearing it as of like you said, 13 people are writing their first songs and getting placement, but that's even that is like crazy to think at 13, I'm gonna get placed on this song and this is what's gonna happen and my life's gonna change. But like what are some of the artists that are coming up, the songwriters and the artists, like what advice would you give to them?
Well, definitely, work hard, keep going. And definitely I feel like one of the most important things is, don't take any opportunity for granted. Any opportunity for granted, because you know as the music business grows and it's going, it's we're getting in this scary place where I remember the checks being bigger for certain things, so now you got to do more to make more money.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And it's real. And so, like, before there was a, you can be like, let's use like a middle class writer, meaning like you don't really have hits, but you get a couple placements every year. You're living good. You can pay your bills. Your kid, you and your family live in a good neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? And it's good energy. And I think it's not like that for people up and coming. It's way much harder, and I don't think it's expressed enough where people know, like, when you come in this, take that shit serious immediately. It's no time to play. It's no time to party. It's no time to like, oh yo, no, it's no ball out. You gotta, from song number one, you gotta be thinking on, okay, what's the exit strategy? We're making a lot of money. What do we invest in? What are we gonna do when this is over? Because the one thing I know about music is it everyone has a expiration date. Some people last longer than others, but
Hmm.
every everybody, I always tell people, I use this example. I'm like, Stevie Wonder to me is the greatest songwriter to ever live, and one of my favorite artists. I love Stevie Wonder. And I'm like, is anybody excited about the new Stevie Wonder album? He's
Hmm.
amazing. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So I always say, at some point, even no matter how much you love music, there's going to be a point where you're not relevant to the generation or the time. So make sure you're preparing for that moment right now.
Wow. Yeah, I mean that's very important lessons that and advice that sound advice that you're giving them. So how are you able, I mean, you just used like one of the legends as an example. How are you able to stay relevant?
Well,
How
how
do
I'm
you keep
able
evolving, you know?
Well, well, I don't grow up. I think that's a trick. So, I mean, that sounds crazy, but I always want to keep youth around me. Like, my kids are always coming in the house and they'll be playing me. So I'd be like, wait, hold on. What is that? And they'd be like, yeah, that, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
just because, I was mentored by a hit maker and, and learned, I want to say, the correct way to make hit records. I'm always studying because I can hear a song that's not a hit. I
Mhm.
literally can hear a song and be like, all they had to do was this, and this song would be amazing.
Okay.
But the youth, they have a new outlet look on things. They got new concepts, new slang. And I'm always listening like, ooh, I like that word. Yo, that word is great, but that song is not going to be big. Let's take that word and with my expertise, let's try to make it the biggest possible song that we can do. So, you know, I just feel like I don't grow up. I always embrace the youth and the new talent, new writers, new producers, new artists. If as you can see, all the people that I got super big with, I got big with them with their first hits, like
Yeah.
me, Lizzo's first album before everybody cared.
Yeah.
Album number one,
Rihanna.
album number two,
Hmm.
Rihanna from the jump, um, Chloe Bailey, Have
Yeah.
Mercy,
Hmm.
all of that, and and L.A. Reid told me this one time. I met with L.A. Reid, and he said, never count out the talent. And what I feel like in the music business, a lot of times we like to throw people away like, oh man, they used to be hot 5 years ago. And so I still work with anybody that I loved as a kid. If they're
Yeah.
working on music, I'm crazy enough to be like, yo, I think I'm good enough to give you a song that'll be relevant in this marketplace. So let's go.
I love
So
that.
that's what I'm on. Yeah. I'm like, when I was a kid, you were my favorite artist. I don't care what anybody said. Let's get in the studio. I think we can do something that doesn't make you, like, you're not trying to be young, but bro, it still fits the world today. So I enjoyed that challenge too.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. So how would you say streaming, you were talking about how things have changed, but and evolved. How has streaming changed your life, would you say?
Well, like, again, streaming is one of the main reasons why we have to do so much more to make more money, because as songwriters, we are at the bottom of the totem pole as far as payments.
Right.
And you know, radio is still the number one way that we make money. Now, again, radio, sync and licensing, all of those things are big ways for us to generate large amounts of income. But
Yeah.
because radio is becoming less and less as streaming becomes bigger and bigger, it's really really difficult. And that's why I'm like, I get anxious every day when I have a hit. And that's why I'm extremely grateful, because I'm not gonna lie, it's a handful of us that get to have conversations like this with people like you and get to be like, yo, bro, I'm currently one of the biggest and I'm in it and I'm doing this. It's not really as much. When I came in the game, it was like competition was in. It was like, oh my God, everybody was hot, and now it's like, yo, it's like a handful of people and all of us are friends and all of us work together because we're like,
Yeah.
yo, bro, you're working on Lizzo, come over here. Oh, you're working on Harry Styles, come on. Because, bro, we all gonna need each other based on the way the music business is now today.
Oh, I love that. I love that you guys can, obviously you're all competition, but you don't see each other as that. You know what I mean? You're like able to help each other along, which is great to collaborate, which
Oh no,
you're like,
collaboration is the best thing.
yeah, yeah. It's so important. It's so important. A lot of people said that during the writer's strike, for, for film and things like that.
Yes.
That was a big push that like everyone would help each other out. So I think that's awesome that it translates into like other outlets as well.
Yes, of course, of course.
Yeah. So just to go back about the streaming uh topic really quickly, when let's say a song like About Damn Time, right? It
Hmm.
was everywhere. Not only was it only played a gazillion times on the radio, like you couldn't get away from it. It was
Yes.
obviously on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere that any and everywhere it possibly could be, it was. So how does it work? Just to like, if you could, like general breakdown for like the viewers, people who are really into songwriting, when that song and people make these dances or they do challenges and that song is like it shows up on your discovery page 1,000 times, like
Mm.
how are you guys able to make money off of that? Is that like a huge issue that you guys are dealing with now where people are uploading music
Yes.
of their own, and
Yes.
like how does that work?
Yes, it's a huge issue, and we're still fighting. Um, Songwriters and musicians and composers are still fighting to be compensated more fairly with the DSPs and the streaming services. So again, like if my music was only being streamed, I wouldn't be successful.
Mm,
If like, let's take out radio, let's take out About Damn Time was like in a million commercials, in movies, in
right.
like, that is the way that you really. And by the way, sync and licensing is a great avenue for songwriters to make a real great living. I mean, like, no hits on the radio. You're only writing songs that are in commercials, that are in movies, that are in TV shows. You can act. You can, what I told you. You can make a living. Your kids can go to a good school. You can live in a nice neighborhood. Like, that's a great way to make money. But as far as streaming, we're still trying to figure that out. I mean, the percentages that we were going has is rising, and it's supposed to rise over the next 5 years, if I'm not mistaken. But it's it's not something to it's not something to talk about, to be proud about. It's like, it's
Yeah.
definitely, for all my peers and everybody doing it, it's definitely an unfair. The
Trade-off.
pendulum is swinging one too heavy
Yeah.
on one side. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I see. I see. And so would you say what would feel like fair, because there's so many numbers that are thrown from different, like you see all the time where like songwriters are constantly upset and yelling and just really using their platforms and their voices to talk about how it's so unfair. Would you feel, and some of them have said like if it was kind of like a 50-50 kind of a deal, would you agree with something like that? I mean, obviously, in a perfect world, if it was like, this is the perfect deal we could have, it would be,
I mean, again, the record labels went and negotiated a deal with the DSPs
yeah,
and not the publishers. If it was me, what I would say is fair. Everybody's making a tremendous amount of money on the master side.
yeah,
I think composers and producers, because you can't have the song without us, should be able to make a percentage on the master side from record companies. Like, yo, a billion streams. I don't have a number in my mind. I don't want to speak on something, that an idea that I haven't actually
yeah,
calculated
yeah, for
correctly,
sure, for
and then
sure.
I say
Totally
something
fair.
and
Mhm.
everybody's like, "What the?" I'm like,
Right,
but
right.
it's
You're like, no, no,
but
no,
what
no,
I
just saying, yeah,
but I will say, the mastering side is the mastering side is the side that everybody's really benefiting from, except except for the composers, the songwriters, and the producers. And unless the artist is yours and you own the masters. But I'm talking about, yo, if I write a song for you and there's 100% of a master, yo, to me, being real, yo, 5 to 10% of the master is better than
Wow.
what we're making.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying, on the mastering side. And I just feel like, we can that can be fair, and fair in a sense where everybody's still making an tremendous amount of money.
Yeah.
And now
Yeah.
songwriters are like, yo, bro, I'm seeing real money from my work, and now I'm not I don't have a top 10, but I drive Uber still.
Right. Right. You're
You
able to
know,
make a
like
career and a living
yeah,
from
you
it.
know, because I mean, and there's a lot of things happening in music that's super scary. Like, let's just talk about AI, where
Yes.
their predictions that AI is gonna have maybe 3 or 4 songs in the top 10 this year. That doesn't mean it's gonna happen, but
Right.
when you're telling me artificial intelligence are gonna write hit songs, and what happens when AI starts putting out hit songs, and
Right.
you're just at home, like, you're just a record label, and you're like, yo, we just put out music and we don't need anybody,
Correct. Yeah.
you know? So again, I just feel like, going back to the songwriter question, and me not saying exact percentages or
Right. Yeah.
anything
Yeah.
like that. Right now is not the time to play games. This is not the time to be, the bottles and the strip clubs and the dancing on the tables.
Leave that
I I
behind. That was of
I
yesterday.
especially if you're me.
Yeah.
If you want to be Theron, you want to be a producer, you want to write and produce songs. I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah.
You need to be thinking on real investments, educating yourself on money, how to grow money, like something that I've been doing for the past 5 or 7 years, really educating myself, and not just being the black guy who's like, holy shit, I made millions of dollars,
Hmm.
and now I'm like, I know you, and I'm like working at the Target.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
You're gonna
So
take the things that you've have and you've acquired and really turn it into generational wealth, which everyone is constantly talking about. And I'm so glad that you brought up the AI topic because I think Nashville, is it who just recently, I don't know if it was a bill or law, something where they are in talks of like they're going to make sure they're going to protect the artists, that doesn't happen. In
well,
their scene. I think it was
if
Nashville.
I
Or it might have, yeah,
if
I
I'm
thought
gonna
it
give
was.
props to anybody, I think Nashville does it better than anybody. Nashville and country music are the only they're the only genre that double down on radio. So country music was like, oh, y'all streaming? We don't give a fuck what y'all doing. We're gonna double down on radio. We're gonna make sure our songwriters and our music creators are being compensated and making money where they can take care of their families, and you know and just make a living, and we're not going to put them in that situation.
Yeah.
But it's
Well,
a lot of things happening in the music business that our conversation would last for hours. We would probably
for
need to
sure.
go
We
to
will be here
dinner
forever.
and sit down and from 6 p.m. and be like, oh shit, it's 11,
Yeah,
and
yeah. I
still
mean,
be like,
even later
oh,
than that. Yeah, there's
that's what I'm
there's
saying, and still
so
have
much.
more to talk about.
Yes.
So
But
it's so
we're not just here to pick your brain for all of the incredible knowledge and advice that you have for us and our viewers, because we could be here forever, clearly, because this is a really strong, passionate topic for both of us and everyone that is
yes.
watching. Um, but let's just talk about, because you're talking about hits on the radio, locked
Hmm.
away, couldn't get away from it. Obviously, I mean, that song is still like, I feel like in the top 100, like it is still being played everywhere and how we roll. What is it like? I mean, I know you talked about like you're so grateful and you give glory to God of, that you were able to use your talents and your gifts to create these incredible hits,
Yes.
worldwide recognized hits. But what, like, when you actually, I mean, we really don't turn on the radio that much, but when you do turn on the radio and you hear, like, I turn to channel one, there's my song, then I tap to channel two, whatever you have programmed, there's another one of my songs. Like, how does that feel? Like with your family, are they like super proud? Like my dad did that? Oh.
No, not you. I was talking to valet. Yeah.
Right
No.
now, as you talked about being an Uber, you're being Uber for your wife. I love it.
Yeah. So I will tell you this. My kids, and that's why I love my house. My kids and my wife, they're not fans of me at all. Now they are fans of me, the husband and the dad. My
Yeah.
kids are like, oh, my dad is awesome. And like, and I tell anybody, and to be honest, I'm a songwriter. I'm great at my job, but I'm a husband and a father first.
Uh, that part.
Yeah. Okay. You know what I mean? I'd be
Yeah.
like, yo, all of that shit is cool, but I just don't want to be the old guy with plaques. And my kids are like, my dad was a piece of shit. Like, I don't, that's not my
Right.
story.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
so I'm a husband and a father first, but my kids, like last year for Grammys, I voted for, I'm a voting member, and I went online and I voted for About Damn Time. My 11-year-old, who was 10 at the time, he says, Dad, did you just vote for Lizzo About Damn Time? I'm like, yeah. He's like, why? That song sucks. I was like, what? I'm like, you little and by the way, it makes me so happy because they're so honest with me. Like, my kids are like my son goes to college in Paris, and he called me and he's like, yo, Dad, you did that Jungkook song? I said, yeah. He's like, that's my favorite song. No lie. That song is amazing. But best friend for Sweetie and Doja Cat, he was like, that song, I don't get it. That song is terrible. He's like, that's not for me. And but I love it so much
Yeah.
because for me as a dad, it's like, I just like the fact that when I come home, I'm like, yo, I'm your dad and I'm your husband. But when I'm out, it's like, yo, you're Theron. Because being Theron could just be a hair overwhelming sometimes. You know what I'm
I can
saying? Like,
imagine. Yeah.
yeah, you know. So I like the normal version of me, how I get to be at home. Even with my mom, like, my mom is like super religious. She's like, oh yeah, I love you, I'm not gonna listen to that one, but I'm very proud of you. And you know what I mean? Like, I love that. It's, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's fire. It's fire. I love the dynamic of my family and my work.
Yeah, I love that they can be brutally honest with you. That people need that in
Brutally.
their life. They need that in their life. And so, being as though you talked about your mom and how she's like, I'm not going to listen to that. I would probably bet that maybe she has not been listening to your new mixtape for Rocksteady.
Oh, no,
This
no,
is
no,
my
no.
dream.
But so this is the thing. I played it for her. So this
Okay.
is the thing. My mom is like black girl from the islands, hood black woman,
Mhm.
older,
Yeah.
found her religion, very, very set on heaven and her
Yeah.
life. But again, my mom was still my mom is still the black girl that introduced me to Jay-Z and DMX and Tupac. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
My mom was
Okay.
a young mom, and so she's not like, she's like, I'm not gonna listen to this on a daily, but
Okay.
I wanna. But my mom is like, ooh, this is. My mom will literally be like, yo. She calls me and my brother mommy son, so she'd be like, mommy son, I like this jam, I like this beat. She'll say it's too slack for her, it's too slack for me. Like,
Mhm.
but it's a good song. So
Mhm.
my mom is super cool, but she's just like, I'm not, I'm definitely not riding around in the car, like, but yeah, she'll let me know, like, yo, you did a good job. She's super proud.
Yeah.
She's gonna be in LA with me because, you know, my youngest baby, our daughter, she's 8 months, so she's
Oh.
coming out, and my mom is gonna babysit. So my mom is like,
Oh.
I don't want to go anywhere. You know me. I don't want to be at no parties where they're gonna be playing slack music and doing anything slack. She calls it slack, and so she's like, just leave me and my granddaughter at the house. Make sure I got food that I like, and that's fine. So she's the designated babysitter on the Grammy trip.
I love that. Not only is she Nana, she's the nanny for
Yes,
for
yes,
that time. I love it. I
for
love
that
it.
time. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's just talk about the mixtape though. This is not a
Okay.
drill. This is really happening. How did that come about? Why you and your brother decided this was the time to put it out? Like, just talk about what went into making this.
Well, first of all, I got my kids, bro. Me and my daughter was in LA. We were driving to Malibu, and she was playing me like UK drill. And
Mm-hmm.
me and my brother had been rapping for a long time in our accent and stuff like this. And I heard it and I said, yo, Timothy, this is what we do, but this is like a new take on it. I was like, yo, bro. I went to the studio. I literally did every song in like the whole entire mixtape. All my parts was done in 4 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, everything. And then I sent it to my brother because he was like, yo, this is amazing. What do you want to do with it? I was like, I don't know. I wasn't trying to make a project. I just was inspired by the
Yeah.
sound. And I
Yeah.
made all these songs. And my brother was like, yo, I love this. My best friend Benny, our tour manager, he was like, Theron, this is it. And then we put it together in like, again, it took us 4 days to fully do it. And then we put it out. We're actually going to re-release it without a DJ and 6 more songs. And
Mm-hmm.
we just wanted it. And we just wanted to like, be the OG Rock City, rapping Rock City, talking that Virgin Island shit, the slang, really speaking to the people, speaking to our people.
Yeah.
And we wasn't even trying to do something where it's like, yo, this shit is gonna be big and people. And we dropped it, and the response has been so like, whoa, you guys
Yeah.
like this shit for real? Okay, cool. So now we're gonna do a repackage and a re-release and really try to lift it up more. But honestly, it was just like, because I'm so successful in songwriting and I'm doing so well, praises be to
Yeah.
God.
Mm-hmm.
It was really just like, yo, bro, I just love this shit and I want to do something and put it out. And then it was like, wait, people really like this. Okay, let me
Mm-hmm.
stop bullshitting and let's actually try to make it a thing. We actually it might turn into something real. So now we're like super excited and adding some songs and making it a real thing.
Yeah, wow. I have to say, throughout this whole thing, you are just so humble, so down to earth. And with all of your accolades and all of your success, it's just amazing to see. And the fact that you just constantly are praising God and I just love it. I love it. Guys, he is so real. What you see, even before we started recording, he was like ready and just like
Yeah.
just himself. And we know you gotta go, but before you go, we at This
Mhm.
Is R&B love to play a game called
Yep.
Write the Hook with singer-songwriters such as yourself. So we give you two
Okay.
words and you write a simple hook, okay?
Okay, let's do it.
All right, let's do this. Okay, so the word is launch and new.
Launch and new.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, I'm gonna launch a new love, no fake love, giving praises and love to the one above. Got a new love, no fake love, giving praises and love to the one above. Gotta, gotta launch a new love. Gotta launch a new love, baby. Gotta launch a new love. Yeah, something like that. I
Yes,
just don't know.
yes. I mean, that
Yeah.
was real time, real time. I mean, a lot of times, every artist that we have asked, they have been like pretty spot on. But wow, that was like, I don't know if you, I'm obviously you're familiar with RL, but he was the same way. He was just like instant. Like he was like, come on, give me more. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy. I think it's so
Yes.
amazing and it's so beautiful to watch. So what else do you have on the horizon?
Oh man, I've been working with so many people that I'm excited about. I was blessed to work with Usher, his new album coming home. So, hopefully I think I have a couple on there. Justin Timberlake new single drops on Friday on the 25th. And, I was blessed to be in the room and be a part of that. And yo man, New R City, this is not a drill repackage is on its way. Me and my brother, R City, and Taurus Riley, one of my favorite, Taurus Riley and the Genius, one of my favorite reggae artists of all time, incredible voice. We did an album together. It's called Paradise. That's gonna drop this summer. And it's so many things all happening at once. And I'm just too grateful, man. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yes, and we're excited for you. And Theron, it has been an amazing time, guys. Make sure you check out everything that he's ever written, which I'm pretty sure already have on your playlist, many multiple ones. However you're feeling, he's got a song or two, maybe even the whole list. You never even know. But congratulations on all of your success and good luck to you at the Grammys this year. We're rooting for you.
Thank you so much. This was a great interview. I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me. And I look forward to seeing it when you put it out.
Absolutely. We can't wait to put it out and everyone to see everything that we talked about. Thank you so much. Really, I really appreciate you.
Yeah. Yeah. Usher, right? Yeah. Thugger, thugger. Yeah. Yeah. Go right up. Yeah. Make it say,